Are you guys ready? Everybody give it up for Lana Salah.
My purse, I don't care, cause he did it first. He been here, stay pop dipping. I don't even chip, but I'm sipping. We not fucking, but he put the tip in. He get on my nerves, but I'm with it. I start thinking when he...
Hello and welcome to the final season of America. I am Lana Salah. This is the season finale, guys. And I know it is because there's syphilis billboards everywhere. Have you seen this? That can't be good. That can't be good, guys. But as a Palestinian, I have just one question on my mind. Is this gonna affect my TSA pre-check? Because I just got that shit, and I don't know if you guys know how hard it is to get something like that with a in your name. I'm on every list except Epstein's. You'll find me. But I know we all saw the recent news of the Charlie Kirk shooting. But one thing I learned from that is, as a Muslim, anytime anything bad has happened since 9/11, we're at home praying, please don't let it be a Muhammad, please don't let it be a Muhammad. And then I saw the press conference where the sheriff from Utah said that he prayed for 33 hours that it wouldn't be one of theirs. That was the first time I knew that white people were at home going, please don't let it be a Tyler, please don't let it be a Tyler. But it was 1 point for us. And I know we saw Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, right? You've seen this guy who just basically looks like a guy who lied on his resume and is afraid he's gonna get caught, right? He's just... We've seen those people, we have. I do actually identify as a very specific type of Arab. I am what you would call a liquor store Arab. We are native to the United States. You can find us in many population centers, and we're known for selling a lot of loose cigarettes and lottery tickets. We also have had sub-automatic weapons within arm's reach by the age of 7. And growing up working in the liquor store, I learned at a very young age that I am not fit for a life of crime. I just knew I didn't have what it takes to make it in prison. Plus, I'm already Muslim, so I'd have nothing to convert to when I get there. Yeah. But I do like to smoke weed. Is this a weed crowd? Are we, no, is this, okay. I do. Obviously I like to travel, because a bitch wants to use her TSA pre-check, but they don't go together, right? They don't. And I did go to Bali, where they have the death penalty for weed. So I was obviously not gonna risk it there. But when I was there, I was at a party and somebody did give me some weed. So I took a hit, and when I exhaled, this 4'11" Balinese woman got like really close to my face, and she asked me how I liked it. I told her it was great, but she leaned in super close and whispered in my ear, I brought it in my boosie. Now, I don't know what you say to a woman who just told you she risked her life to bring weed to a party that you didn't even know was a potluck. Right? I felt bad, I did. But I did thank her for her service, because she was a soldier, right? She was. I also sent my compliments to the chef, because that shit was good, right? Like, I needed it by that point. But then I started thinking, does this mean all the weed that I've smoked outside of America has been pussy weed? Because there was this one time I was in Jordan and I met this girl from Chicago and she had weed. And when I asked her how she got it, she just told me she brought it with her. Right? Now, I didn't question this at the time because we were both from strict Muslim families who told us that we had to be virgins till marriage or we would get stoned. And not the good kind, right? So I never thought of putting anything up there. We weren't even supposed to ride bikes or horses for fear we would lose our virginity. True story. Joke's on them, though. I did lose my virginity to an Egyptian DJ who was hung like Seabiscuit. Not the kind of horse I recommend you guys ride at all, especially not for your first time, especially not. But I did live in the Middle East. I spent a lot of time there dodging arranged marriage, which is pretty much like dodgeball, just with more balls. And I was good at that shit. I was a LeBron of that shit. But it's not like I didn't try. Like, I wanted to make my parents happy, right? I thought arranged marriage would be like Aladdin and Jasmine, right? Because they're from the Middle East. Oh no, when the men would come to ask for my hand, it was more like, I can show you the kitchen. Shining, shimmering dishes. Tell me, princess, now why'd you think you'd be free to go outside? It's not a new world. It's not a place where you can drive. I'm here to tell you no. And if you wanna go, I'll say you must be dreaming. And I probably was dreaming, because if you remember in the movie, even though Aladdin promised Jasmine the world, he never let her drive the carpet, guys. Now, also, those jokes are probably why I didn't get accepted into the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I think it's for the best, though, guys, I think, maybe. But I did, obviously, make it back to America. I love it here. We have freedom, right? Yeah. But I am at least free to date whoever I please and be disappointed with all their balls. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a transition, right? My first job when I came back was for the first online dating company ever. Now clap your hands if you've ever been on an online dating app. Okay, clap your hands if you're still on an online dating app. My condolences. Okay. But I worked for the first one, and my job there was to take a stack of envelopes and to scan the contents of them and put them on the website. But when I opened them, they were dick pics. Yes, I was responsible for the first dick pics to ever make it on dating profiles. You're fucking welcome! I was in the trenches. No gloves. And I know this was pre-COVID, but I feel like that had to be an OSHA violation. And I feel like I should be the hero of that story because Lord knows I saw some shit, and I do have an engineering degree. I did not deserve that. But the true heroes of that story were those men. Because they were the founding fathers of dick pics. You guys have iPhones now. You just take a pic and shoot it off. Those men actually had to go to Costco and develop their dick pics. They went to Kinko's and scanned them in. They put their floppy dicks on floppy disks and sent them to me with a $20 check. And like now, when you guys want your dick pics to disappear, you use Snapchat or disappearing ink. Those men had to include a self-addressed stamp return envelope. So the next time you go to take a dick pic, remember to pay your respects to your foreskin fathers. Because they risk their Costco memberships. You don't know. You don't know. And I know what you guys have been thinking this whole time. How tall is this fucking bitch? I am 5'12". I learned that from being on dating apps. Yes. Because 6 foot is reserved for the male liars. And look, I'm not gonna say, like, I didn't have the best luck on dating apps. I met my boyfriend the old-fashioned way at the gym, because I am shallow. But also because at my height and weight class, I need to see your squat max. That's how we know if this is gonna be a trust fall or death by snoo-snoo. I don't, you know. But my boyfriend, he is a personal trainer. Normally you have to marry a rich guy and have an affair with the trainer. I just cut out the middleman. But he's very funny. He grew up on a farm. His love language is actually sending dick pics, so I've come full circle. Last week, he sent me one of his dick on a table with the message farm to table. I love him. But yeah, my boyfriend, he's an immigrant. Typically, I've dated immigrants because I feel like they're willing to do the jobs that most Americans won't. But that doesn't mean that we don't have our differences, you know what I mean? Like, he's not really into politics. And, you know, as a Palestinian, that's kind of, you know, difficult for me. Like, he's more concerned with his protein intake than the continuation of my people. Which is fine. Look, we have other things in common. But recently, we had a pretty steamy sex session. And the next morning, he sent me, like, a bunch of pro-Palestine Instagram reels. And I was confused, right? But after the fourth one, I started to think, you know, the Jews might control the weather, but my pussy controls the algorithm. And I feel like that's worth something, right? Can your pussy glitch his matrix? Look, my boyfriend sent me a screenshot of Theodore Herzl's Wikipedia to tell me he's the founder of Zionism. Do you know how deep he had to go into my hole to go down that fucking rabbit hole? That's That's how you fix them. But I do miss the days when wars were fought over ass. You know, like the Trojan Wars, right? Like one guy thought Helen of Troy was so hot. So he convinced 39 other guys to get in a wooden horse for a day so he could bang Helen of Troy. 39 men agreed to get in a small enclosed space wearing nothing but skirts and sandals with no ventilation so one guy could bang Helen of Troy. That's how I know the Greeks were gay. Because all they needed was some glow sticks and techno, that was a gay club. Okay? What do you mean not a single guy got out of there and said, boss, she's not even gonna give us a hand job? Like what? Those were gay men, okay? Plus then they named like Trojan condoms after that. Stop. They were fucking in the horse, guys, okay? That is also the origin story of fraternities. I don't know if you guys know that, right? So fraternities are gay, sorry. I didn't make the rules, guys, okay? I did not. But you know, a lot of times people think that stand-up comedy is like therapy, right? It's not. Plus, I've already done my therapy. I don't know if it worked. I really don't. I'm just here to dishonor my parents. Okay, guys? Thank you for helping me do that. And I would love to bring up your next comic. He's super funny.